Warning: health and safety. You're about to experience mediocrity, unlike anything you've ever seen. Well, according to like a majority of the population of planet Earth, that is, especially on release. You know, for how unserious the situation is, I'm no longer going to do any of those narrative intros that I do in the beginning of each episode of this series from here on out, until that is we get to Metroid Prime 4, which thankfully has not released yet because I feel like that I'm a little bit behind on quote unquote schedule at the moment. So let's just get this over with. Promises made, promises kept. Let's go. Hello everyone, GBA049 here, and welcome back to another episode of the Metroid Prime Marathon series featuring Metroid Prime Federation Force, episode number 70. Let's just let the intro of this game play out. It says everything that I really don't need to say or think about, because this game is canon. The destruction of Phazon in the corrupting world phase was a monumental victory against the space pirates. Despite this, the Galactic Federation also suffered from the loss of Phazon, and the space pirate threat remains. It is clear that the galaxy will never be at peace until the space pirates have been wiped out. Consequently, the Galactic Federation initiated Operation Golem, a military campaign aimed at developing tactical superiority over the space pirates. The key to Operation Golem is the development of a new type of battle armor, mechs, an elite unit. The Federation Force was created to pilot these mechs. Through intense training and hard work, the soldiers of the Federation Force mastered mech operations. This story begins aboard the GFS Aegis, high above the planet Excelsior in the Bermuda system, where the Federation Force is finally ready to put their training to the test. Hopefully it's enough to prepare them for what's to come. Doubly so for the player that's about to play this game, because there are a lot of problems that this game has. And in my opinion, it's not the art style. It's not the gameplay. It's not the music. It's not the fact that you're playing a Galactic Federation Marine instead of Samus this time around. It's the timing of this game's release that is absolutely fucking abysmal and just, inexcusable for what this game did to the series. So you know the saying of like, the saying of like ripping off a Band-Aid ripping off a Band-Aid at the time of something that was healing from something so tremendously excruciating. Well, that wound was caused by Metroid Other M in 2010, and 5 years later, in the middle of Metroid's 30th anniversary, no less, this game came out of fucking nowhere in E3 Direct on the 3DS in 2015, 5 years of dormancy of the franchise. Seeing this for the first time, people were livid, and they had every right to be. The timing of this game was so bad, it's just... oh my god. The timing of this game was unfortunately just terrible. Terrible in execution. Terrible with just about everything. They tried to market it. Nintendo did everything they could to, present this game as something worth a try. Yeah, surely that's enough to reassure people to, try out this game. Something that basically defames the entire image of Metroid itself, and also it's Metroid Prime Federation Force. Looking at this logo, it just looks completely out of place in the Metroid Prime saga. If anything, this looks like something you'd see from a spin-off. But the fact that it's not a spin-off is just incredibly harmful. And it really should have been a spinoff from the very start. But no, it's a continuation to Prime 3. So basically, this is Metroid Prime 3.5. And everyone ignores it for a variety of reasons that I really do not want to transcribe. Or bother transcribing. But I will say this. Picture, you know, someone that is healing from the wounds, and the band-aid is ripped off. That's a little bit too tame of a comparison of like ripping off a band-aid, like when someone was like healing from the devastating effects of Metroid Other M. No, this is ripping off the band-aid, just strapping someone onto a bed, exposed to the sun for 5 hours, doused the wound with snake venom, and then quickly put the bandage back on and promptly rip it off so hard that your epidermis is layered off from the surface of your skin. That is how much damage that this game has caused to the franchise back in the day. And I was one of them, and I was one of those people to try to give this game a chance. Excited for its release even, because a naive part of me just thought that it was like, okay, it just has Metroid in the title, so I'll just, like, okay, better than nothing. And I gave it a try, interested to, like, see what the gameplay was like, what the story was going to unfold, and I also like the premise of the Galactic Federation soldier just being the main center focus this time around, because it's about time that we actually have something centered on this corrupt organization for once. But they really could have done so much better with the fucking execution. I'm sorry. Kensuke Tanabe did everything he could to, like, just provide damage control and just assure to people that this is a game that belongs in the series. That, I promise. And I took his words for it. I really did. But it didn't work. And this game is objectively the worst-selling Metroid game in the franchise. And to literally no one's surprise. Alright, so before I go off into a much more larger tangent, more than what's already necessary, let's just get on with it. No, I am not going to immediately... Actually, no. I am immediately going to start a new file, so that way we can see the intro of this game. And after we get through the intro, I will continue on from where I've left off on my first save file, to make this so much more easier. Because there's another grueling issue that this game has, and it's the fact that the difficulty is unbalanced as fuck. The selling point, well, the primary selling point that it attempted to achieve, was for it to be multiplayer focused. Co-op missions. Genius idea. What went wrong? Everything went wrong. Hardly anyone cared about it. And as a result, you're like even on its release, there were hardly any players that were online playing this game in co-op missions. And most of the time, they just like do one mission and then leave. And when you're just waiting for someone to arrive, you're just stuck in the lobby for hours on end. And all of a sudden, a day passes and no one comes by. That's how very little jack shit people cared about this game. And doing this game solo is an absolute fucking nightmare because, like I said, it is incredibly unbalanced, and you will quickly find out why. But for right now, let's just get on with it. Start a new file right here, and just examine on how this game starts off. You, just an unnamed Galactic Federation Marine, just start beginning training in your Operation Golem mech armor suit. Got all the fancy technology that this game has, though. Can't complain about that. Like a Galactic Federation Marine soldier inside a mech suit. I love how it's animated. Welcome to mech certification, Marine. My name is General Alex Miles. I'll be administering the tests and training today. Let's see if you've got what it takes to be a part of the Federation Force combat unit. Take care as we proceed and show me all you've got. Okay, the mech you're sitting in is the latest design. It's state-of-the-art, a result of countless hours of work contributed by the best and brightest of the Galactic Federation. Gotta admit, the design of the mechs are pretty snazzy looking. Even though they kind of look more like robots. This is just an elite robot force. You'll be training in it today. If you're not sure which buttons to do what, you can always check the basic controls for the mech on the controls menu. I'm moving you up to the shooting range now. Let's begin by powering up each system and making sure your mech is fully functional. One little gripe that I have with the game's controls is that free aiming is entirely focused on gyroscopic controls. Hold R and tilt the system to aim. Looks interesting until you realize of how uncomfortable things get, especially when things get, you know, a little bit hectic in combat with the enemy swarms, boss fights, the mobility. All in all, just in general, it's just not a good feel at all. And it's, I'd say that it's arguably worse than what Metroid Prime Hunters does. Hold L to lock onto the target, but... it's decent. I can definitely give it that. Press and hold A to charge. Charge shot takes forever to charge up, but it definitely does pack a punch. Hold L to lock onto the target. Hold R to enable the precision aiming. Yep, just basic stuff. All right, of course. I really do like of how the game, you know, properly teaches you on how to control your mech, because it is very complex, especially when put into higher gear. Great work, Marine. Weapon systems are operational. Power shot is synchronized, and targeting systems are at 100%. You're ready to be tested on what you've learned. Use the lower screen to proceed to the rank test or to retry calibration. We're going to continue. I don't want to bother retrying. The objective is simple. Destroy as many targets as you can within 3 minutes. Avoid shooting friendlies. Avoid shooting friendlies. You'll earn extra points for accuracy and speed. If you can earn 5,000 points or more, you'll pass the test. Good luck. Alright. Just get me the hell out of here. Test initiated. Alright, of course. Just do some mini charge shots here and there. That's all it really takes. Targets get smaller each time. Oh, that's a charge shot. Okay, I got it. Oops. You know, lately when I was doing a test recording of this game, my B button has been acting a little bit finicky. So that might alter a couple things in this playthrough, unfortunately. But I will definitely do my best. I don't want to do anything too, I don't know, too sporadic on the controls on my 3DS. Otherwise, actually, no, look, okay. What I'm trying to say is, I don't want to do anything that would end up, like, harming my system. Because my old laptop that I used to use for recording video software, let's say that my my keyboard was not working the way it should, and my sister attempted to help out with the attempted to help out by making my keyboard function normally. By using, unfortunately, we did not know about this beforehand at all, by using rubbing alcohol to make it work, but that only permanently damaged the circuitry of my keyboard, and I had to spend thousands of dollars, to get a new laptop. I do not want that same thing to happen when I try to fix the when I try to fix the buttons on my 3DS. And I'd really like to get a new Nintendo 3DS XL at some point, but the problem is I need to spend even more money to let's see what he did. Yeah, just spend more money to get the console and a capture card designed for it. So I'm only using the original classic 3DS that I have gotten and had owned since release. I have no idea when the 3DS was released, but I'm pretty sure it was around somewhere around 2012 or 2013. Yes, I've had it for that long. Yeah, thanks for the new high score. It doesn't really matter. Ooh, sorry for hitting two friendlies. It doesn't matter. Excellent work. You're done here. We can move on to the next stage of your training. What happens if I actually just reach that high of a score? It doesn't matter. The scores of this game really don't matter. Doesn't really belong in it. Really doesn't belong in this series. Okay, Marine, you've shown you know how to use a weapon system. It's time to take on the combat sim and prove you're ready for the front lines. Good luck. I'm enabling the movement systems on your mech now. And herein lies a problem with the mech. I've also added a nav point to your lower screen navigation system. Proceed to the nav point to continue your training. Shock absorbers online. Alright, so now the actual action in Federation Force begins. But Lord, oh Lord, is it clunky and slow. I have no idea why, but it just is. Do they have to, like, I don't know, focus more on the semi-realistic aspect with the gameplay of this game or something? Because I'll admit it functions pretty decently on this system, especially when you're like especially in like an FPS FPS platformer, style and look to it. But if you ask me, this game really, really, really did not need to go on the 3DS. In my opinion, Federation Force would have been so much better if it was on a much more advanced system to handle more technology and, assets. Okay. It's clear that this game was suffering from technical limitations because, fun fact, this game began development in 2009. It was originally going to be for the DS, but due to technical limitations, they wanted to do something more similar and more efficient and easy to work with on the 3DS, which is the reason on why they chose the chibi art style, because it's a little bit similar to what the Fire Emblem and Bravely Default series did on 3DS there. Just like easier assets, easier to control, easier to manage and all that. But even though the style was much more easier to work with on the system, at the same time, it's unnecessary because it's Metroid we're talking about here. And I'm simply saying this in a general standpoint. I'm not being I'm not being negatively biased on this or anything like that. I'm just stating on the justification on why people were so pissed off with this game from the very beginning. It's just not a good idea, plain and simple. Well, not entirely a good idea. It has not entirely a bad idea, but it does have its moments. Graphics and visuals, for one. Movement, no, just no. The movement just makes me nauseous, and I know I'm exaggerating with that, but still. Okay, Marine, let's see if you're ready for combat. Prepare to maneuver. Oh boy, here we go. Training turret. Remain locked on and move sideways to strafe. Alright. While strafing, tap B to sidesteps to the target's weak spot. Okay, there we go. Hold L to lock on to a training turret. Alright, there's more of them here. It's nice of how they handled the tutorial of this game. Not as complex, but it's easier. It is extremely easy to, like, you know, get used to and handle. But I still don't like of how this... I really genuinely do not like of how the mech is, you know, functioned. Yeah, sure, thanks, Alex Miles. I really do not care. I just want this to be over and done with, so that way we can end this episode and go straight back to my and go straight back to my original save file and restart from there, fully prepared, and don't have to worry about anything on you know, managing my ammunition. Because Metroid Prime Federation Force has this ammo capacity mechanic that starts off very small, but increases in quantity the higher your mech rank is. And how you increase it, I have no idea. Frankly, no one knows. I think it just has to do something with how much you progress in the game that that contributes to it. And here's another issue that frankly really irritates me in Federation Force is the repair capsules. You can only carry a limit in missions, and when you die, game over. There's no revival. There are no energy tanks whatsoever. Once you run out of HP, it's the end of the mission. Game fucking over. Restart from the very fucking beginning, you jackass. So always be on your guard at all times when you're doing these missions, because, like I said before, this game is extremely unbalanced with its difficulty, and the fact that its multiplayer focus is what killed this game for me. Because like I said, doing this game solo, not advised, and I have no other choice because the online functionality of 3DS is gone. But honestly, who cares about that? Hold Y to prepare to fire the repair capsule. Yeah, here we go. Lock on to the unmanned mech by holding L. And that is how you heal your teammates. But that's not going to be of any use anyway because I'm doing this solo. Oh, man. Excellent. You seem to have a grasp of the controls. More or less. Are you ready to take the rank test? What? This test is designed to see how well you can handle a combat environment. Your objective is to keep an allied mech alive for 3 minutes during a space pirate attack. Don't worry, Marine. You'll only be facing holograms of space pirates. We haven't heard any reports of space pirate activity in quite some time. Bounty hunter Samus Aran, you've heard of her, of course, routed the space pirates in a major battle not long ago. We haven't seen much of them since. All the same, we're training you in case they show up again. Speaking of training, in this test, be sure to keep an eye on the number of repair capsules you have remaining. You'll need them to keep your ally and yourself in fighting shape. Let's see what you've got. Aiming controls, strafing controls, and now for the combat. There's really no need to, like, bother with the, oops, crap. Really no need to, bother with the, charge shot in here, because all it really takes to take care of these guys is just, normal. Alright, of course. Alright, of course, this bullshit. Ally under attack, yeah. Oh yeah, I also completely forgot to mention that I actually did do a let's play, a blind let's play of Metroid Prime Federation Force, and obviously enough, I did not finish it whatsoever, because The levels in this game were so soul-crushingly difficult, it was insulting. I can appreciate difficulty in video games, but when it's fair. But when you have... But when you have just... I don't know... Oh, God. I forgot what I have to say. Not like it matters. Yeah, I know. Be quiet. There we go. Stop. Time's up, Marine. Let's see how you did. Well, the Allies... Well, for one thing, the Allies completely 100% fine. Actually, no, it's 70% fine. And now for the score. The score feature. The higher you score, the more medals you earn. And the more medals you earn, the more paint jobs that you have to customize your mech. I like the customization in this game. I won't complain there. I always really admire the variety in my games, and you know the collectivism that that some games feature. But how this game handles it is very tedious and just pointless. They're just cosmetic stuff for online. You can use it in single player, but you just make yourself look fancy. But it's fine. I like the designs here and there. It's fine. Excellent work, Marine. You kept your allied mech functional while dispatching threats. I believe you're ready for active duty. Congratulations. You are now able to augment your mech and its weapon with mods. We provided you with a few to start with. We have intel that various mods may be found in the field, so keep your eyes open. Mods and other features can be accessed from the customized menu on the main menu. I've signed off on your mech certification, Marine. You're officially a member of the Federation Force Combat Unit. You say that like that's a good thing. It's really hard for me to like, you know, keep a positive mind in this game, but it's Federation Force we're talking about here. No one cares about it. Hardly anyone is going to like bother like watching this part of the series, but I'm not bothered by that, honestly. I mean, for those that are watching this, well, thank you. Means a lot. But I understand of how boring and, you know, uninteresting this game is, but I just wanted to, like, play this game because it is definitely an important part of the, Metro Prime series. Because I don't even know on how the heck this game is going to connect to Metro Prime 4 Beyond in any way. I already know that the Federation Force is, you know, has been referenced in the game's story, but like, what significance do they have? Only one way to find out, and that's the reason why I'm playing this game, because it's important in some way, in some capacity. So Alex involved in a special-ass cutscene, and that's it. Metroid Prime. Federation Force. Go to the mods, the customized menu to equip mods and strengthen your mech. Alright, sure, let's do that, just real quick. And then after that, I'll end this episode and just go straight to my original profile. Alright. Lone Wolf. Mech damage output is doubled, while incoming damage is halved. Strongly recommended for solo play. Always have this on at all times. Meanwhile, Auto Revive repairs mech to full upon taking lethal damage. Process destroys the mod. But he can't equip it because new mod slot unlocks with 3 medals. 19 medals. You need to collect medals to have more mod slots. Which, frankly, isn't really all that difficult in the beginning of the game. Because in the starter levels, collecting medals in those levels are pretty straightforward and very easy to follow. Just like a clear level as fast as possible within the time limit, do these weird ass, I don't know, extermination assignments, breaking destructible objects, defeat as many enemies as you can, or have less of these be destroyed as much as possible. Too much of it, and you don't reach the objective. So they do have benefit, but just very limited. Save the changes on here, and that'll be it. Oh yeah, there's also messages that you could have on your mech, but since this game is focused on multiplayer, this is completely 100% worthless. And this is the default voice that it uses.
Good job. Help. Help.
And there's a lot of them too. No one's ever gonna go see these, but I'll mess with these later. So yeah, that'll be it. These are the paint jobs you can have. Use your amiibo to unlock some different skins, which I will do more of in the next episode. So yeah, the training has been completed, and the true test of the Federation Force Squad will begin in our first mission in Excelsior, planet Excelsior, where we investigate some ice beetle infestations. Oh, no, not ice beetle, ice hopper infestations. What happened there? Well, it's pretty unserious, to be honest, but anyway, that'll conclude the end of this episode. I really do not want these episodes to be as long as I've made them in like in my previous episodes, because people care more about quality Metroid games, but this barely has any redeeming qualities as far as I'm concerned. But I'll accept it for what it tries to offer. And I will at least try to enjoy playing this game and finish it. I'm not going to start playing Metroid Prime 4 Beyond until this game is complete. Mark my fucking words. That is a promise I am willing to keep. And I'll be sure to remain true to my word. Even if it means avoiding spoilers if the game actually does release before this video is released, before this video is uploaded, which at this time is July 6th. That is when this video was recorded. But until then, thank you for watching, and I will see you later. This is GBA049 signing out, going offline, and see you next mission. Not gonna be a fun one by any means, but we will try to work with what we've got. All right, see ya.